Kade!
Welcome to Plastic Empire. I'm Ronny Kade. In today's video, I'm going to cover some display tips and tricks. Ideas to cut costs, and that won't break the bank. Because the less money that we spend on our display, the more money we have to spend on our toys and our collections. Without further ado, enjoy the video. So, the first idea that I have, which is probably the most obvious one, and one that you guys probably all do already, is staggering your figures. Now, this makes a huge difference. What I do is I'll start at the front here. I'll line them all up straight across. And then in between every two figures, I'll basically put another figure so that they're all showing. And what I'll do is I'll just keep repeating that pattern all the way to the back, so you can see all of the figures and it doesn't look like a jumbled, muddled mess. Because the last thing that we want, right, like we spend so much time and money sourcing out these figures, and to have them lost in your collection, hiding behind another figure, sort of kind of defeats its presence in your collection. So for the next example, I'll use my Reboot collection here. But something that I use quite consistently in my collection are these clear aerosol spray can lids. These things are absolutely awesome. They're compact. They can fit in small spaces. Like I said, they're clear, so it gives a nice little look there. And another cool thing is, you can stack them to get the height that you want. And the best thing about them, in my opinion, is they're free, right? Because they're just going to end up in the garbage anyway. So rather than ending up in the garbage, I put them aside and I use them in my collection. And like I said, they are basically everywhere in my collection. I use them everywhere. They're super handy, very cheap. Well, of course they're cheap because they're gonna end up in the garbage. But yeah, cheap and an awesome display idea in my opinion. For the next display idea, I'm gonna use my Biker Mice collection here. But it's these clear drawer organizers, which they're basically the same as the acrylic risers. The biggest difference between the two is the fact that for acrylic risers, it's about $20 for 3, whereas these drawer organizers are about, I think, $1.50 each. So the savings is quite substantial. They come in a bunch of different shapes and sizes. So another size there. And just like the lids, I use these in a lot of different places in my collection. So you can see there's even a couple there in my Street Shark collection. Yeah, my Marvel Legends collection is one of my best examples. So we have one there once it focuses. We have more of a square one there. We have that big one there, which is awesome to stack more than one kind of figure. A longer one in the back there. And another square. These things, like I said earlier, absolutely awesome. A great display solution. And cheap. Honestly, can't go wrong for $1.50 each. Here are a couple of different options. Some extra drawer organizers I had kicking around. I love these ones for the bigger action figures. They're super cool. I actually just started using these ones as a trial, but they're working out really good. You have the grip here on the top, and this actually gives some nice height, and it's It's got a pretty wide surface on top here to put a bunch of different figures. Depending on what line you're going to use or whatnot, you can get a decent amount on here. For the next display idea, it's these little decorative plate holders. These things are super cheap. I believe I got all of these from the dollar store for like I don't know, couple of bucks for a pack. I think there's about 2 in the pack. But yeah, I absolutely love these things, especially to display my Mighty Max playsets. I have a couple of them over here holding up my Voltron figures. And a bunch here holding up some of my Nintendo consoles. Next, I'll use my Invincible collection as reference. But flight stands. Now, flight stands are pretty crucial to my collection. I like the fact that it adds more of like a height to your collection. Also allows you to get your figures into some cooler poses. You can get them fairly cheap off of Amazon. I think like a pack of 4 is like 20 bucks. Or you can go the even cheaper route and you can make them out of coat hangers, actually. Wire coat hangers. I will show you an example. Here are a couple of different flight stands that I made. You can make the base as wide as you need for the bigger, heavier action figures. You can have one smaller, a smaller base if you want to concentrate more on height. This one's obviously not my best one, considering it's got the death wobble there, but yeah, these things are so convenient. And the free option helps quite a bit, right? Because pretty much everybody has these wire coat hangers kicking around. All you need is just a pair of wire cutters or tin snips. And what I use is just like a water bottle to roll the base around, just to sort of kind of get a shape. And yeah, there you go. A free flight stand. My next tip, I'm going to use my Gargoyle collection as a reference. There's actually a few things going on here. So as you can see, I'm using these aerosol spray can lids like I do in pretty much all my different collections. But another option too is, well, just get creative. Before you throw something into recycling or the garbage, just look at it differently, right? I'm not saying like last week's pizza or leftover chicken, but like, for example, this little pedestal that Bronx is standing on is actually, it's an old paper towel roll. And on top, I put duct tape and then I spray painted the entire thing. On this side, this is actually like one of those pre-mix juice containers. I think there was like iced tea, the powdered iced tea in this thing. But instead of throwing it out when I was done, I thought it might work good as a pedestal as well. So yeah, shot some rocker guard on it to give it kind of like that rough, rocky look to it. And yeah, seems to work great. Nice and wide. Fits a decent size action figure there. Another thing too is, like this little castle here in the back was actually a Skylanders case. It's meant to like hold those little Skylanders figures. We were going to donate it because my son grew out of Skylanders. But I thought it looked really cool. And I figured it would look really good in my Gargoyle display. So just a quick coat of primer, spray can primer, to give it that kind of, that rock color there. And boom, there we go. Instead of taking it to the thrift store or donating it to the thrift store, I have a background or sort of display here for my gargoyles, which I think fits in really nicely. We use my Dragon Ball collection on top of my DTOF here for the next example. But yeah, see, there's another one of those drawer organizers. I'm telling you guys, they're all over my my collection. I swear by them. Absolutely love them. But this here is actually a piece of hard foam that I had left over. And I just wrapped it with sound deadening. And that's another form of riser that I have here. So for the next tip, we'll go into my little Hulk detolf here. So if you're using detolfs or any display case and you're using wired lights, right? All in the back, you're going to see the wires hanging down and it's just going to look like a mess. So what I do is I go to the dollar store and pick up sheets of this foam board, cut it to size, and use it in the backs of my displays. It gives it a bit of contrast, makes it look a bit classier in my opinion. And yeah, it does a great job of hiding all the wires. One of my biggest recommendations is to go with white furniture, white cabinets. It brightens up the collection so much more. I think the figures pop more against the white. And honestly, this is something that I wish I knew in the first place. But yeah, it hides. You can't see the dust as you would if you were using darker furniture. The darker furniture, yeah, I had that when I first started my collection, and I hated it with a passion because you can always see dust no matter what you do. Like I would finish dusting and then a day or two would pass and there would be more dust. Whereas with the white, nice, clean looking, you can't see dust, hides it a lot better. And like I said, it brightens up the collection quite a bit. And it gives that nice contrast to the figures and just makes them stand out more and pop. Okay, next is more of a storage option than a display option. But I absolutely love these things. They're just little organizers that I once again got from the dollar store because I love saving money. I think these are like $1.50 each, and these were like $2.50 or something. But these ones I use to store my Marvel Legends effects. Super helpful to keep them separated. These ones I absolutely swear by. I absolutely love these things. This one I am using for all of my Marvel Legend parts and pieces. So we got all the heads separated there. I got hands, some effects there. Highly recommend these. Space saver, time saver, and yeah, I absolutely love having things like nice, organized, and these definitely help me with that. Ta-da! That's it for today's video, guys. I hope you found some of this information useful and you can, put it to use in your collections. But until next time, stay blessed and happy collecting. Theater done.